I am sure sports. You know me there, I'm coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get the sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know the game play, that me not say it. If me never seen a game, me no know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you are gonna love over here so.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crapper players. We are good enough. Remember to like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment, let me know what your thoughts are.
Trick Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
Made up of 18 Jamaican herbs and spices, add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Trick Nick Jerk Barbecue Sauce.
Bang 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 bang. And then the ranks become repeat it again. And this time it's all about Ali Cup. It's up. You know it go. August 12 and 13 on the school grounds of Aggie Animal. If you don't know what that is, it's Excelsior High School, 137 Mountain View Avenue. Make sure you're there. It's a big day. Because guess what? The organizers, the man called Chris Daly and the man called Sambo. Big up Zenga Bats, big up Fuba, big up all Excelsior people. Because you know, from your Excelsior person, you're Excelsior person. You know. Everybody big up. Make sure you're there. It's a big day, August 12 and 13. Ali Cup, because Ali life, I feel live on. And from we say it have to go, so I saw it have to go. So all Excelsior people, big up. I remember, we start out with 8 teams, but remember, 4 forward, so 12 this year. So you know, next year it can be 24. So make sure you score. Daily Rank say, big up, Ali Cup, August 12 and 13, 2022. Mad.
All right. Welcome to I Am Sure Sports. I am your host, man. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. A lot of Jamaicans are happy. They are glad. They are excited. They have been using their brooms since around 9:30 yesterday. Yes, well, last night, sweeping, clean. Old broom, sweep, clean again. And anything the guys over there in the United States of America can do, our ladies can do it better. 1, 2, 3, mother ketchup. Yeah, she put it in the teapot to make a cup of tea. And with no further ado, let's welcome the man who almost got it right, a pioneer. We have
Well, blessings, man,
who is a true prophet. Welcome, preacher.
Blessings, gentlemen. Morning.
Blessing. Listen, let me just say, people, we're celebrating 20 years. It was the toughest weekend for me. Man, I couldn't see a thing. Everything I saw was replay. That was the most unfortunate thing. But God is good. You understand me? It was unfortunate to have missed the live races, but what we were doing was such a fulfilling time. So we give thanks for that. But welcome to all the persons who are already on the stream. All right. As usual, we don't pause our thing to say like, share, and subscribe. We do that at the top of the show. and at the back end of the show. So once you come on, hit the like button, share the video, and subscribe if you have not. We have Pioneer and Preacher with us, so I'm going to be here with them. Welcome, Pioneer. You were going to say something and then I interrupted you, so go ahead.
No, blessings, man, and want to say welcome to all of the viewers and to those who can view, who are listening, and I am sure sports. It was indeed a good evening for Jamaica's track and field yesterday. Some disappointments, but like everything else in life, we learn to take the bitter with the sweet, as them say, and we learn to take the joys with some bitter sorrow sometimes. But it was an historic night last night. It was indeed a good night to see that sweep by the Jamaican ladies, doing it in fun style again, having done it last year at the Olympics, coming back to do it in Eugene at the World Championships. It was a good night. I want to say congratulations to all the ladies. I want to say congratulations to Shelley and Fraser Price, 500-meter World Championship titles, historic in itself. And what can I say? We're just here looking for more as the championships progress.
Yeah, Preacher, what say you?
Yeah, let me just also add my voice to congratulating the women for their historic performance, first time in a World Championships. 100-meter for women. We're having one country getting all 3 medals. Also, the bittersweet reality of Ansa Parchment's injury prior to the event. I mean, I think it would have been one of those medals that we would have written down on our medal predictions. Definitely a gold or silver medal or a medal in that event. So that's a disappointment. But historic performance by the girls. It wasn't surprising that we got 1, 2, 3. The order was always what was the point of discussion, really. And it just goes to show the difference a year can make in the area of sprinting in particular. Last year, Elaine Thompson was in the form of her life, 10:54. This year, Shelley Ann Fraser is in the form of her life. 3 times in the year, she has gone 10:67. So it definitely shows how, the progression between a year can really change in terms of sprinters and their performances. But all in all, we have done well, represented ourselves well. We're on the podium. The anthem will be played today. So we look forward to that.
Yeah. And I mean, I too share those same sentiments. I'm also happy to see not just Hansel, not just the 3 and sad by what happened with Hansel, but to see Chris Taylor progressing and Jaheel Hyde as well. Very happy for Jaheel Hyde, he had some misfortunes at the Olympics last year. I think he pulled up in the race in the semifinal.
He actually hit a hurdle.
Right. So I'm happy to see
7. Or he hurdle 7.
Yeah.
Put him off and
at the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
that was in the semifinals also.
Yes, I'm happy to see him. Stephanie and McPherson, Blackheath Road, Water Lane, roads that very close. You understand me? She lives next door. She's next door from the cemetery where my mother was buried, so I know her very well. Money school, so really and truly, I know Pioneer don't have a lot of expectations in terms of her getting a medal, but she has the money heart, So I am just thinking that if she gets a good lane in the 400, though it's not today, I'm looking forward to that though, because I know she's a fighter and she had her struggles last at the Olympics as well. She was left in tears. I mean, at the Olympics. So I just think like she has something that she wants to do. I'm looking forward to that. But one of the big questions is being asked now. Does this 5th title mean that Shelley has surpassed even Usain Bolt as the greatest, not just female sprinter of all time?
You understand that conversation right now, man?
I don't. Maybe all of us agree, so I don't know what Preacher thinks.
All right. So you agree with that, man? You agree with that, team? Right, before we get there, man, let me to add my voice a congratulations to Jaheel Hyde making his first major 400-meter hurdles final as a 2-time world junior 400-meter champion. It's good to see him now taking that next step. A lot of us have had great ambitions for him. And a lot of us have hoped that he would have transitioned into becoming this great national sprint 400-meter hurdler and making it on the international stage. It's good to see him taking the step. First finals, we have to say congratulations. They say if you don't have a ticket, you don't have a chance. It's an obstacle event. He's in the final. Any game can play. Whilst the competition is going to be stellar and the mountain is going to be steep for him to climb, but he has made it to the finals. I would just wish him all the best. I had my doubts about him making the finals. So to see him in the finals, it's a really, really good look. So congratulations. But welcome Virgin National also. Yeah, and if you want to transition into this debate right now, Manins, I am ready to go.
Let me let the man I got chime in and give him thoughts. National.
All right.
To God be the glory, man. What going, man?
We're there, man. Man. Blessings, man. Go ahead, man. What say you? But I know Pioneer go win the one today, because it sounds like a 3 versus 1,
No, hold on. Hold on.
And if two or three of us touch and agree on anything,
No, watch this now. Is the debate? I'm not quite sure what the debate is about. Run it back by me again, because
I just want you to chime in on what you have seen so far. What the question was is what is on the board now, which is what I'm saying, that does this Shelly-Ann being the 5-time 100-meter champion of the world make her not just the greatest female sprinter of all time, but the greatest sprinter of all time?
No, man. It hasn't been. If you got sprinter, she loses hands down. It is the greatest 100-meter.
100-meter sprinter of all time.
Of all time. Across genders, male or female.
Male or female.
Yeah. All right. Hold on. To begin with, me not one of them man that will really deal with the fact of all times thing, because the sports on a whole, yeah, but whichever sporting discipline, it has changed over the years significantly, and it has changed for the better in terms of, if it's cricket, you're going to see more runs being made. If it's running faster time, going run and all of them things, because people now realize that there's a business side to sports. For example, if it would have been unfair of me to say that anybody, especially in the later days, is the greatest of all times, given the conditions what some of the earlier people used to have to be endured to even win a medal. Now, when we look on like people like Jesse Owen running on some dead track with a boots like football boots, like kind of spikes, weigh almost 10 pounds. Yeah, in some closer breezes are blowing all the way back. But yet still this man get up and run 10 something. It's a very, very, very good accomplishment given the conditions that he has to endure. Now, put a Usain Bolt or any one of those guys back in those days, in those way back antique, ancient relic kind of gear, yeah, on a dead track and stuff. We don't know what time he would run. Or if he want to put Jesse Owen in this present day time, give him a stud, a spike, weigh about half pound, a fast chevron to run on, some spandex tights and all of them things. We don't know what we may get. So it is unfair for me to say, well, then this person is the greatest of all time. However, what I can do in this era, now that we look at people like, because some of the names I'm over here is like Usain Bolt and the Shelly-Ann Fraser Price. They run in the same era. I have the two of them to look on. You understand?
That is where the discussion is at. National. It is not a national, by consensus, by general consensus. And people have differing views, national. But by general consensus, it is thought that Usain Bolt is the greatest 100-meter male sprinter. And by general consensus, especially after last night, it is considered that Shelly-Ann Fraser Price is the greatest female 100-meter sprinter of all time. Now, we could take it there, as the debate now becomes a Shelly versus Bolt debate. So,
all right.
forget about Jesse Owens. Forget
All
about
right.
the part, the
So watch
eras in
this
the
now.
past. And
So
we
watch
could
this.
keep it right here.
100
right,
meter
no.
sprinter, 100
So
meters.
yeah, man. So greatness. No, because if a 1 and 2 is not a fair comparison. But
No, if
so
you got
come down,
200, if you got
lose
200, you
hands
probably
up.
argue that Shelly is not even the greatest female.
No.
But we are talking about 100. Man.
Yeah.
So all right. Man, you see Bolt, man. All right, let me not say it that way. Let me not, because to say it that way is to kind of come like a glass of what Shelly do. But
Yeah.
look here, what Usain Bolt has done, not only for sprinting, and for track and field. You understand me? I say what Usain Bolt do for track and field. I know something when I know something when damn all in a boss. Track and field is a thing though. Well, everywhere you go in a world in the France, say Usain Bolt, I mean, guarantee you say you must get a response. That's the country you're from. Where Usain Bolt come from, is you can't that alone tell me say Usain Bolt accomplishment for track and field. We surpass anybody else, really. What he has done for track and field. No, but it is not to say that what Shelley has done is not a significant feat. It's a massive feat. But when you go Usain Bolt, I'm a big something at that. But it can't a big something. Massive. It don't make no sense to even try looking at the thing because it's a character cheese thing. Just the impact alone.
You said 3-1, man, but look like you lose that thing.
You
Hold on, we can acknowledge Kyle Wallace. Kyle Wallace, what are the national man? Kyle Wallace is saying, Shelley, hands down, based on her longevity and her gold medals in the Olympics and World Championship, consistently in the 10-7s, no one beats her in that department, men or women. All right, mornings.
I love to.
You're true. National, I have something else to say.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, something else to say, National. Towards it, the debate.
Yeah, no, but I love to answer that thing that was the Virgin just put.
Let Preacher chime in first before we get back to Kyle comment, because Preacher want to chime in.
Yeah. Big up National.
Yes, respect, brother.
When we talk about greatness, we're talking about the person's contribution to the sport, both on and off the field. And so if we're making a comparison between Shelley and Bolt as who is the greatest 100-meter sprinter, that's National say. If I put this in the context of what Bolt has done for sprinting for the 100 meters in track and field, Usain Bolt's achievements have transcended the track and has brought the kind of attention to track and field that no other athlete in this era has been able to do. Albeit, male sprinting has always been viewed as the blue ribbon event of track and field. Female sprinting has always played second fiddle to male sprinting. So we understand that. But Shelley Ann Fraser-Pryce, the only thing that Shelley Ann Fraser-Pryce has, in my opinion, on Bolt is longevity. The longevity. And longevity does count for something, but Usain Bolt's dominance during the time when he was running. Remember, Usain Bolt went unbeaten in 100-meter races at major championships for about 3 or 4 championships in which. That's unprecedented.
Well, if you're gonna count the 2011 false start, then that you could have considered a being. But if you go beyond that, then yeah.
So that's an unprecedented achievement. Now, Shelley has been able to stay in the sport over a 10-year period in the World Championships and a little bit more in Olympics in terms of dominance. But during that period, she has also faced competitors that she beat who have beaten her over the distance. Usain Bolt lost in the 100-meter to Gatlin when Usain Bolt was having probably his worst preparation going into that championships. Definitely was not at his best. Definitely was looking to get out of the sport. And so I would still give Usain Bolt the edge in terms of the greater 100-meter sprinter across both the male and female designations. Yeah.
Here's what I would say, and I hear those things, but I think because there's always been a question mark about the world record on the women's side, it almost diminishes what female sprinter will do, because that record seemed to be unbreakable, right? And I think that has been the problem. If that were a record in our generation, I think Shelley, well, Ilian would have broken it, and I think Shelley before Ilian would have broken it, and then Ilian would have come and broken it, and maybe that would have given her a little more leverage in terms of the whole comparison. All right. Now, like I said, preacher, because the male side has been the blue ribbon event, really, and the woman has played second fiddle. The 100-meter for women last night had larger TV viewage, way in the millions. I think over 1 million or 2 million more than for the men 100 meters. I think it was also in the Olympic or even our national trials. The big event was not the 100 meters. After you said the big event to come, the female 100 meters, which is
let me cut you there. And that is because Usain Bolt was not running in the men 100 meters.
Exactly. Well, no, exactly. No. Hold on. Mannings. Let me tell you this. You see what you just said?
Yeah.
It even strengthened the argument of how great Usain Bolt is. Let me tell you something what you just said.
It could also be strengthening the argument that
No.
Ilian and Shelley.
No.
Hold on. Give me a second, National. Before you go, just give me 1 second. Mannings. And you just mentioned two people. You just have to go for Ilian and Shelley. And that is a point I want to make. It's not about Shelley alone for the viewership increase. It's about the competition and the rivalry that now exists between three great ladies. When Bolt was running Mannings, Bolt by himself was a draw. Bolt by himself provided that visual and that pull that it didn't matter who he was running against. Now it had a little that Gatlin and some other competitors who probably would have been talking about Stam was gonna run against him. But what we are getting now from the women in terms of the interests is not because of the Shelley. It's because of the rivalry and the competitive nature and the competition in general.
Mannings, pioneer, preacher.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder if we have short memory, because I can't understand. It's like we now remember who you seen. But look here, you have times even in the championships when you see Bolt over the warm-up track, just a warm-up, and when the camera just go over and remember, a warm-up, you have the main event that go on at the stadium, and when the camera just shift and you see Bolt do two stretch or whatever, the entire stadium erupt, just because the camera just go over there and them get a glimpse. The thing with Usain Bolt, I know something with normal, man. Remember, so when there is Olympics, remember, say you talk about mega stars, sporting personalities that come over, and the people them leave for them village and Ghana, Usain Bolt, to say what I want a picture with this man. I know something with normal, man. Why we having this discussion? It's not a discussion. Look here, this we shouldn't be having this. It's not that we have water down Shelley thing, But there's something, if you should have called Shelley and right now ask her, should we tell her that, man? Don't do that, man. It's a massive something this man.
National, let me say this.
We are pioneer. We are not pioneer. Let me say this quickly. More you understand, say, you see, these people, when we are talking about superstar and megastar, these people are people where them have them publicists and them people that will tell them, say, watch, you have to get your act together. You can't go and like your water down your thing. Keep your decorum and your poise and your. You understand what I say? And when people can people lose it, man, them say you must be mad. Mr. Neymar score and him stays up on all the football field. And you see Bolt thing him go on with time. I say you mad, this man. Look, this thing I not normal, brethren. It not stop on the track alone. It not stop 100 meters for Usain Bolt. And for answer to that, brethren, they talk about some 10-7 to Shelley around. Usain Bolt has been breaking records upon record. Till the man carry. Remember, we're not talking about the 200 meters, but remember, in times gone by, we used to look at Michael Johnson 1932 and I said, no man, that not right. Me don't think that right because no man, this man come put it to shame. This man shot at the thing.
Let me pick it up from the national. Because and the argument was generated and the debate is being generated from something that Rob Walker, who is the premier
commentator, analyst, commentator.
Commentator, no, he's a commentator, and said after the 100 meter, he said he was the person who said that she's the greatest of all times, and he named, he said including both. All right. So and then Gail Devers, who is a prominent athlete and now a analyst, and who has some greatness attached to her name, also agreed. Now it led me to think, and I thought about this all night last night. All right, five world championship gold medals, albeit not back to back. All right, because there were breaks. She lost in 2011, one in 2013, one in 2014. Was off, didn't compete in 2017. Came back in 2019 after having a baby. So a lot of those things have to be considered. She coming back after having a child, winning in 2019, losing the Olympics last year, coming back in 2021, winning in a spectacular championship record time of 10.67. So I won't dismiss it as a folly debate. It's a good debate if you ask me. Understand? When you look at Shelley and the longevity of Shelley's career and the consistency, thinking that she would have won her first world championship in 2009, running 10.73, I think it was, and to now 14 years after, or 13 years after, winning in 10.67 is a great feat, and it's something of great, greatness. There's a lot of greatness attached to that. But you still have, when you flip it to both now, there is still a level of longevity attached to Bolt's career. Also, so it's not like Bolt did it over a one Olympic cycle or even two Olympic cycles. Bolt has 3 world championship 100 meters. See, he has something, and he has something now that Shelley aspires to have that she don't have. He also has 3 back-to-back Olympic cycles. Three peat in an Olympic. Shelley tried after that and failed. You understand? So there is a level of longevity attached to Bolt's career now. But where I think Bolt counters Shelley in every way is now when you add the world record. Bolt has broken the 100 meter world record 3 times. All right, you spoke about, man, you spoke about the world record, the female world record being out of this world. Gillian Thompson went within 0.07 of that world record last year. She ran, 0.05, she won 10.54. Bolt has set the male world record where no man, not even himself, has gone within 0.11 of that record. 9.58. The closest anybody has gone is 9.69. So he himself now would have set that record out of range. So we're talking about Shelley not being able to get in certain range of the female record. Bolt has set this record. So when you consider breaking the world record 3 times, when you consider what he has done in terms of the back-to-back Olympic 100 meter title, when you consider that he himself has 3 world championship gold medal plus a world championship bronze medal, you see me I say when you compare the two right now as it stands right now, and I'm prepared to have this debate again in next year, after next year's world championship. If Shelley can go back in 2023 in Budapest, Hungary, and win a 6th world championship 100 meter title, then we can, hold on, preacher, just give me a second, then we can start revisiting that. But as it stands today, after last night's win, I still think Bolt is ahead when you consider everything we just mentioned. Yes, preacher.
I think one of the things we can't disregard in this discussion is what would have happened if Elaine Thompson won last night. Because if Elaine Thompson had won last night, we would not be having this discussion this morning, right? There was never a time when an athlete, a contemporary of Bolt, while Bolt was at the top of the game, there was never a time when there was a contemporary who was in the discussion for greatest male sprinter of all time.
Sure.
Bolt was there by himself. Nobody else was in that discussion. And there was never an occasion where Bolt was in a final where a rival person, if they had beaten him in that final, could have eclipsed him or even raised a discussion about their greatness in comparison to him.
That's a big point, right?
So the fact that Elaine Thompson, having done a double-double, right? The fact that she was in a race with Shelly Ann last night, and if she had won that race, arguably, she would have
put her closer or above Shelly.
Very close in some people's mind. She could have even been challenging to be listed among the greatest women sprinter of all time. Tells you that Usain Bolt as national is in a class by himself. The discussion is being had because, I mean, it's sports and we are going to have these discussions. But we run the risk of diminishing what Bolt did because we're spoiled.
At some point, at that point where you just said preach. Mannings, and this address your point more the word. If we were even to remove the 10.4 now, even if we remove that now, Shelly still wouldn't have been holding the world record right now. The world record holder right now would be Elaine Thompson. And at no time, if we were even to remove the 10.49, at no time we would have argued that Shelly would have now been the world record holder. You understand? The world record holder would still be Elaine Thompson or somebody else.
But Shelly would have had the record before Elaine.
No, man, but she wouldn't have eclipsed Marianne Jones nor Jetta. As a matter of fact, if you even remove Marianne Jones's runs off the record, then Jetta would have been the one to have been holding the world record.
Hey, listen, but that argument is going to be flawed. I understand what you're saying, you know. All right, but look at this, because here's what. So that means if Shelly even win in Budapest, she can't be.
No, man. No, you're adding a different layer to the thing now, man. No, you're adding
but she still would
six. No, man. So now we're going further into, as I'm saying, now we can revisit that argument. Now we're going further into the longevity argument, and now we're going further into adding a sixth world title, which is another layer. So now the conversation gets a little more interesting for me.
All right, welcome Chris Lynch to the show. Right? What I'm saying that Usain Bolt's record is in a different catchsphere. That means if Shelly even win a next thing, you can't even compare it. If that is
right.
The argument, the argument gets a little more. It gets a little more interesting, man.
You can't.
That means I can't. All right, man. It's like we're saying one thing. It's not like we're saying one thing eclipse another thing. We are just saying, and I am just saying, when you consider everything now in context, and that is where my argument comes. We're looking at everything. We're looking at the world records. We're looking at longevity. We're looking at achievements for her 5 world championship 100-meter gold medals vis-a-vis Bolt's back-to-back 100-meter Olympic titles. So if she goes to Budapest and does it for a 6th time, which means she would have done a 3-peat now at this age and stage of her career, we're taking all of that into consideration. So it's another level of greatness. Because what we're basically matching up here in the morning is greatness. And it's one person's greatness stack up against another person's greatness. So if she adds another layer of greatness onto her thing, man, then we have to start look at it again.
Isn't Flojo the greatest female sprinter of all time?
No, she's not. No. She's the fastest. She's the fastest sprinter.
Fastest, but not greatest.
But not the greatest.
Never.
All right.
Look here, Pioneer, let me say this quickly. Even if she got to Budapest, she'll only increase her great status, her greatness status. But to eclipse Usain Bolt, she still look here, you don't understand what Usain Bolt doing. You come like you don't members, brother.
No, we're not national. National, we're having a debate national, we're having a conversation.
No,
I'm saying. National, quick. We have to understand everything that Shelly does in a national increases her visibility also. It makes the world view her more. It makes more people know about her. It enhances her status on the world stage also.
We are not stop you right there, sir. We are not more stop you right there, sir. You see, right, that's what you say that what you just said? Yeah. Increase for people see her more. that in and of itself is as a result of what Usain Bolt already do and make whole heap more people now come look so that she can have a seat. People can come see her because of what Usain Bolt do. So I'm not telling you not. Well, I know look on the level of greatness I'm trying to show you. Know. You as a she are trying to do something to make more people see her. I am saying to you, you see because of what Usain Bolt did. See him already make one whole heap of people and look so that she can be viewed. And him do that.
We understand.
No, you see that? You see that?
No, but not national. I can't have you in a context, you know. Pele and Maradona would have brought people to football.
No, I feel do that too.
What make a few messy, right? So it goes without saying that even Bolt, you have Carl Lewis would have brought persons to the sport who know a view, who know a view Bolt and things. So we don't want to look. What I'm saying, national, we are stuck up piles of greatness to compete and compare to each other. You understand? I have Bolt up here right now, and Shelly is down here when we stack it up. Now Shelly has another layer to her stack. It make we have to look on it now and say, boy, how close does she get to Bolt now? Or has she surpassed Bolt? I'm saying, if she goes to Budapest and adds a 600-meter world title, then we have to start look at it again. Not saying that she would have surpassed, but we have to start look at it again. Yeah, Chris, may I come to you.
The 200-meter argument, Bolt have to do the 1-2 at every event. Shelly don't have that. Shelly don't have that honor to do. So
no, but we're just looking at it. We're just looking at the 100 meters.
No, but we still have to take it into consideration.
No, you still have to take that into consideration.
Not focusing on the 100 meter. If Bolt was supposed to focus on the 100 meter,
alone,
we're talking some 9-4 business.
A joke thing.
Bolt the workload of focusing on 2 events.
Brilliant point.
And that is just the magnitude of it. And you cannot
the two in that context, though, Chris, the 100 meter is normally run before the 200.
You know why I have to take out the 200 meter out of it? It just
no, I said the 100 meter would normally be run before the 200.
You have to prepare for it, Pioneer. Shelly just prepared for 100 meter most time. You have to prepare for it.
A big point, Pioneer.
I understand so I have the conversation and I have it. But we take out the 200 meter because it strengthens Shelly's case. That's all it is.
Big point, big point.
Oh, yes, Chris. So, Chris, you're right there. Someone could do a poll right now.
Hold on, the Rob Smith must put up this comment. He said that imagine Shelly and Bolt won their first championship in 2008, and they said both were 21. He said it has been 5 years since Bolt retired, and Shelly just won another. Think about that.
And she won 2 subsequent to Bolt's retirement. So that is why Rob Smith. That is why I said when it comes to the longevity argument, it gives Shelly extra point in the conversation. But there are still some other things now you consider for Bolt that you have to still stack up some more greatness on his thing. And when you consider the back-to-back Olympic titles, when you consider the 3-time world record, breaking the world record 3 times, when you consider that he set the world record in 2009, that is 13 years ago, and no man has gone within 0.11 of that world record. So that world record is almost on a different stratosphere. And as I said, Rob, and I read a comment that you made earlier about taking the 10.49. I'm saying if we remove that 10.49 out of the book, I think it's suspect. But if we even remove that 10.49 off the book, it's still not give Shelly extra credit because she has not gone. If she had run the 10.54 that Ilian had run, well, we could say, boy, this now should be the legitimate world record. Then that would have given her argument even some more strength. But considering that another person had gone closer to the world record than she has, then for me, when you stack it all up for me, Bolt still the 2 stacks ahead of her, right? And that is how me view.
All right, we got.
Mannings look like I get outnumbered no Mannings because I look like a 3-1. It look like a 4 against 1 right now. Preacher, you want to say something, Preacher?
Yeah, just another quick thing about the issue of the viewership. Remember that a large part of the viewership last night was to see if Jamaica could do 1, 2, 3. It wasn't necessarily to see if Shelly was going to win her 5th world championship. It was to see how well the Jamaican girls would have done. There's a sense in which globally there's this kind of love affair with Jamaican track and field, and National mentioned it. Usain Bolt has been the pioneer of that. The fact that more people out.
You sure you want to use the word pioneer? Or
Yeah,
the truth,
man.
please?
No, the pun was intended. The pun was intended. Right? Usain Bolt has been the pioneer of that. And what has happened since Bolt has left the track and field scene, because we have not had a male presence in Jamaica that maintained Bolt's standard and presence in the 100 meter. Invariably, the females, because they were doing so well, became the replacement. So the globe is looking on to Jamaica, and they're looking at our females because we don't have another male. Now, it is not about Shelley. It is about the Jamaican females, Elaine, Shelley, and now Sherika Jackson. When Bolt was running, it was about Bolt.
Yes, Bolt. Yes,
Bolt, as Bolt could have carried, Bolt could have filled a stadium by himself.
Full stop.
None of these athletes, Shelley, Elaine, none of them can draw a crowd to fill a stadium. None. Right? The greatness of Usain Bolt is being undervalued now because we have short memories, and we're suffering from recency bias and our creatures of the moment. When Usain Bolt was in track and field, the entire track and field world stopped to watch Usain Bolt compete. Man, I do them high jump, Usain Bolt a run, them stop for watch Usain Bolt.
Come on, you're right, my brother, man.
That's how great Usain Bolt is. And I remember, we're not talking about accomplishments on the track, because greatness transcends that, right? We're talking about what the person has done in the context of his sport with the 100 meter and how he has elevated that single event to a place where Sports Center, they never used to discuss the 100 meter like that. In passing, Usain Bolt became a household name because of what he did for the sport. Let's not fool ourselves.
Yeah, man.
Shelley is great, but Shelley cannot. She could have won 10 more world championships.
10 more, exactly.
She could have won 10 more. Shelley will not eclipse the greatness of Usain Bolt because of what Bolt did for a sport that was dying, and how he resurrected that sport and placed it on a pedestal to where now you have girls like Shelley and Elaine and them people that who can benefit from that. Don't get it twisted.
All right.
Can I?
Chris Lynch, you're muted. Chris Lynch, you're muted.
Can I just say something? Where you say we have my brother short what? Where we have some from? Because we had a word there, no. Me a copyright that word. We can't take that word from you. Give me it again. Where we are suffer from?
We're suffering from recency bias and recency bias. What happened with the most recent thing we have seen?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And it's that thing when we say the Americans them do that very well, you know. Them tend to just forget great things with them say and great players for some little man with them as right now before them eyes. Chris Lynch come without fine when I talk about the 200. But the point what Chris Lynch made as it relates to Bolt knowing that him have the 200 for compete later on. Him have that to deal with too in preparation and how him go execute him 100 meter and all of them things. Because you have to have something for later on. No, watch this. On every level, there's only one level, one area. I mean, I'm pioneer whole argument because even though you see him about longevity, and I don't know where it's not him have a good body of work. I still believe, say, you see him about short change the track and field world. Yeah, I believe him still could have got more if him did. It's like how Shelley them look like them deal with track and field on a different level than Bolt. Bolt look like more time. Bolt look like him want to go party, and sometimes him go down all a party in a season in the track and field season, and still come around left people and a broke record because he was that good. But when him reach 30, it's like him body feel like 35. You see him Bolt shouldn't be not running now, and with the still as Justin Gatlin the other day. After Justin Gatlin far seen him long time and a run. Justin
National, let me add something to that, National.
No, hold on.
Stick up in, man. Let's stick up in. Let me just add something to your argument. since Bolt retired, you know, the only we don't consider significant time that has won a 100 meter. You know, it's Christian Coleman in 2019. You know. When Bolt get beaten at a 9.93 beat him or something like that, you know, in 2017. The last Olympics was won in what? 9.80.
9.80.
And this time Curly win a 9.85. You understand me? So it's not like nobody around a super time. So to your point, national, if Bolt had chosen to stick around and not take care of himself and still around right now, chances are he would still be dominant right now.
Nobody can. So watch this now. Watch this now. People are suffer from I can't remember what the brethren said, but let me say this to you. Let me just jog with memory. Let me jog because a boat broke her body enough for me to come and chat them rubbish and know, and people come like them, you know. Till all when we say 963, like a man I said, chow 963. 963 or something where at the second fastest time that ever in a brother. Yeah. And we are saying 963 and a scuff and a suck teeth. We broke bad. Let me tell you this, brethren. Try and remember this. Just remember this, no man. He said the 969. He said to me, he said the 969 is the greatest sporting feat. It is the greatest sporting feat I have ever witnessed, you know. The 969 when the man beat him just and hold out him and you know I'm saying 9-6 pan clock for the first time, you know, brother. And the manner in which the man do it. And then later on come back, come level off a record where people they believe say it never in a reaching distance to anybody at all. Oh, look here, man. Yes, it's nice to have the debate's here. But it's not a fair fight, brother. It's not a fair fight.
We'll come again to that, National. Last night, for the first time in our career, Shelly set a championship record. See? Ilian is the holder of the Olympic record. Flojo is the holder of the world record. Usain Bolt holds the championship record for the Olympics, 963. The world record, 958, which is also the championship record at the World Championship, the same 958. So the man holds every record in every record book that exists. See?
Pioneer, who am my female athlete? Who's my female athlete?
Shelly.
All right, thank you. So no man can say bias. Shelly, I'm my creme de la creme, you know. I'm my creme de la creme that. But truth be told, man, come on, man. Let
me take the discussion a little further and ask Chris Lynch this question. Now, going into the 100 meters, many persons had Shericka Jackson doing something out of this world, possibly even winning the gold medal, right? There was a lot of question mark about Elaine. Are you surprised that Shelly's win? Are you disappointed in Shericka's performance, or the PB second place is good enough for you and there's greater expectation for the 200 meters? And as it relates to Elaine, is it just an off season, or she needs to make some changes, or else we could be beginning to see the decline of Elaine? Or this is just a one-off season?
Let me top off the first convo with the Avdo. You go right into it in the mornings. When you say I mean National go right into it. The way how Bolt win, it's just ridiculous. Bolt we feel as if Bolt never run him fastest because him always slow down and I play with the clock or do something to the fans. So we feel as if Bolt could have even go faster. This is how ridiculous Bolt is, you know. Get to last night's sweep. Yeah, man. Shericka Jackson, you can't complain when you run a PB, man. When you run a PB, that's just awesome. That's what they go to championships to do. I don't think there's no disappointment in that. 10-7-3. Shelly was always the favorite. 10 out of 10, not 9. 10 out of 10 time. Shelly is so experienced. She's not going to not be the first one to get up out of those blocks. And that was a main concern. Once Shelly start working on our race, basically from 70 meters to the 100 meter finish, it was always going to be Shelly. Ilian, there was concern in the season, obviously. Our handlers didn't know what they were doing. No matter what nobody wanted to say, our handlers pull her from a meeting in England. They run her to Jamaica, run her all day. That means they didn't know where her body was. That's the only time you run somebody like that. You run her in 3 different races because you don't know where she's at, but you pull her 24 hours before from a race in London, said she was injured. That's just total joke. She knew, if you look at Elaine's face, she knew that she wasn't going to beat those two ladies, and all she could do, and she did it for us, was to complete the sweep. And I am happy for that.
All right. You want to go preach or you want?
Yeah, because I might have to jump off in a little bit. I mean, Chris hit the nail on the head. If you do a personal best at this level, you can't complain. You can't feel bad about your performance. I mean, Dina Asher Smith did a personal best. I think it was a British national record, tied the British national record, and she finished fourth.
Pioneer, where is she win a medal?
Oh,
She get
Dina.
Dina got
Dina?
ash. Yeah. But go ahead, preacher.
No, but
I mean,
she was close. No, hold on, man.
Close
Let me
is not a
clarify what I
medal.
said.
Close is
No, I
not a
said
medal.
she. No, hold on, man. I said she was the greatest threat to break up the 1, 2, 3. That's what I said.
All right, boss.
Right, Chris?
Good.
Yep.
And that
Yeah,
was,
man,
and that
that's
was
a
correct.
Pioneer
She
did say
was.
for true. Pioneer
Yeah,
had the 1, 2, 3 still. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
7 out of the 8 women in this race ran sub 11. That's how good this race was. So Sharika has nothing to be ashamed of. In fact, Sharika should be excited because what she did at the national trials, she ran 10.77
Yeah.
at the national trials. She has now ran 10.72. She's going into the 200 meter knowing that if she can replicate her performance, she can lower her PB in the 200 meters, right? So she is the distant favorite in the 200 meters, right? Now, as it relates to Elaine, and Chris mentioned it, there has to be concerns about Elaine because she's transitioning from the MVP camp. Her husband and others are handling her. We don't know if they bring that same kind of expertise, professionalism, and understanding. She made it a point of duty to commend her husband last night. If you listen to her interview, she commended her husband because it was the first time she was winning a medal at the World Championships. And I found that very interesting in the 100 meter. I found it interesting. It's almost like you're disappointed in your outcome, knowing that your inputs were not where they needed to be, but you wanted to save face by saying, well, don't come blame my husband because previously I never won a medal in the 100 meters. So I'm going to make sure that I say to my husband, thank you for giving me this medal in the 100. That is some psychology at work. I'm concerned about Elaine. I'm concerned because mentally I don't think she's as strong as the other two ladies. So I'm concerned about her and her progression, and it will be interesting to see if there are any developments and changes in her team going forward.
So let me add something to what you just said, Preacher. And I said this in a private reason with a virgin this morning. I think it was me again national, my reason with him. I said to you, when we consider that Elaine, before last year, she was coming off 2 years there because of COVID. Now we all know of her issues with her Achilles and things. So that should have gotten significant rest to that injury because of the 2 years after COVID, or a year and a half, whatever that was that we had got. So that would have seen that last year by how strong she was last year. Now we have a situation now where she ran last year, she's running this year. 2023 we have Budapest as we mentioned, then we have Paris in 2024, then we have Japan, we have Tokyo in 2025. We're talking about 5 years of consistent championship. If I were on her management team, I would consider taking next year off. But I would consider, listen, Budapest, we're not going to Budapest. So my run Spearling in the season. I being the back-to-back Olympic champion, I want to prepare myself to three-peat in the Olympics, which I got add another level of greatness to my name also. And possibly the triple double. You understand what I say? Because obviously the Achilles, she's not doing a surgery on it, so it's gonna continue to flare up and continue to be an issue. We saw last year what rest did for her. But I think next year, so listen, I can rest it next year. I don't know how that would affect her contract, her new contract with Puma. I mean, I know all the ramifications of that. But just in her best interest as a sprinter and to extend her career and her legacy, would have considered that. To just add a little thing to what the gentleman said. Great run by Shelley. 1067, a championship record. She showed all season that she was in that form. And what I saw her do in the semifinals said to me, she wanted this. She last year in the semifinals and Olympics, she ran hard. And I think that affected her in the finals. This year, she did everything to conserve energy in the semifinals. She basically took it out, backed off. When she saw the ladies coming, she kind of stepped again. Then she backed off, and at the landing, she realized they were close. She just added a little thing. So she was fresher going into the finals. Big run. In terms of Sharika, 1073, no shame. Maybe she had aspirations and ambitions of going a little faster, but you got a bronze in the Olympics, you get a silver now. You understand me? I said, personal best, 7th fastest woman in history, 3rd fastest Jamaican of all time. No shame in the game. Ilian, as you gentlemen have spoken to, is now showing her hand. We all thought maybe she was playing for some throughout the season. Now we realize that she really was not in the form. And you're right, Kristen. Because you said I switch up the bet them between last year and this year. I'm going to get it wrong this year because I'm going to go with Ilian this year. But she showed her hand at last night, showing that she's not in the kind of form that would have hoped she'd have been in. So, for me, as I said, I think rest might be best for her. I don't know if she wanted the rest of the season off. You have to consider money and all of them things there and sponsorship commitments and them things there. But if she intends to extend her legacy and her greatness, for me, she's going to need some rest.
Pioneer.
Yeah, National.
Gentlemen, when I listen to the interview Ilian gave as it relates to her she being injured.
Preacher,
last night after it.
I think me should say the Achilles is good, but I thought she said her training was not. She never wish she really wanted to be.
And that is because of the injury.
Shoulder. Yeah. So this is just one of them off season. You just have to just know so well and she go wheel and come back. But look here. Let me say this. Try and remember last year. Not sure because we still have to stick with the argument, the mood to come with the debate. We still have to stick with that. You know why? I'm going to show you why. They can't understand why you come with something. People come with something like this. Try and remember last year after Ilian won. You remember what was the argument? What was the fresh debate?
Is Ilian
and all right, Ilian and Shelly. You see that?
Yeah.
No, watch this, Somebody will win back-to-back 1 and 2 Olympics. And the argument was very close. That debate looked close between Shelly and Ilian. See? Now, Ilian win back-to-back gold in the Olympics, 1 and 2. That argument would have never ever even come near to comparing she to a Usain Bolt. See? So you want to tell me, say, one more world game will Shelly win. Put her, obviously, of course, put some distance between she and Ilian, but it can't bring her to nowhere near what Usain Bolt have done. Gentlemen, never run, but let me tell you this. Pioneer, me have an outsider to tear off your pot off of your fire. If ever you have pot on fire.
Can the female meter you're talking?
In the 100-meter hurdles. Yeah, man.
No, me not want to watch the race again, man.
You know why I watch the race again? Why?
Man.
No, man, not the one.
No, man, he's talking about the female. He's talking about the female.
100, you know. 100.
Brittany and the Steamer coming.
Pioneer, you see that last race, I'm going to say Brittany and the run against your big ass where you bring. Yeah?
Come on,
just stumble over the last hurdle. Tells me, say, watch out, the race. We have a race. I don't want nobody stumble or fumble more, everybody fly over them things. I'm going to show you what I got. Because me have more room for improvement as a little athlete come in and you are right. Some people when me say you pioneer, I give second and third chance, some Ben Simmons and them people. And you want to say people like Brittany and see them always a fluke when it comes to big time. Me ain't not join them argument, the brother.
National, we're going to have a show when we get to that. I'm going to invite you and I'm going to give you a chance to make all of you.
Pioneer, every Jamaican, you say every Jamaican national, big up on yourself, any which part in the day. See? Jamaica, the greatest nation on planet Earth. Remember me telling you that. Big up on yourself, my brother. Me a go here.
Give
All
thanks
right,
to
that's
Virgin
enough.
National.
God,
Well
God
said,
bless
coming
and
from
love
a
and
man who we
respect, man.
call national. The ultimate Jamaican national. Respect for Virgin.
Listen,
Virgin for life.
when I was so disappointed with Hansel, but like I said, because of the whole, I feel good for Chris Taylor and for Hyde going, yeah, into this. Does he stand a chance?
I mean, once you're in the race, you know, you have a chance. The problem
No,
the
but
problem
no
is that
preacher, nobody
Jair,
know. Because you guys were just telling me, that when you said Bolt was, there's a different animal. It's like nobody else stood a chance.
but Blake won a world championships in a race that Usain Bolt was in. He false started, so he had a chance. Yeah,
that's a good point. The 400
um,
meter hurdles, you don't
I
really have
want to add to that. I want to add to that. Grant Holloway win him second world championship last night because Andrew got and Hansel got an injury.
you have a
So Grant
chance.
Holloway got a chance. Because there's no way that Hansel was gonna lose that race.
Yeah,
Alright,
I mean, he was the favorite.
yeah,
I think
so
the difficulty for Jahil is just times. If you look at the times, Moat who finished second in our national championships, I think,
Ran a better time than Jail, but didn't make the
had a
final.
better time than Jahil, but he finished fourth in his heat, right? In his semi-final. Jahil's time is probably the seventh best time going into the final, right? But he just happened to finish in top two in his heat. So I
but
don't think Jahil.
I think it was a product. I think it was a product though, preacher, of how slow the race was because Carson Warholm basically took the race out and controlled it. And the fact that
No, man, it was a
somebody
war
like
home.
Aaron McMaster wasn't a part of the race means that the race was particularly slow. So
Yeah, but
Jail would have just bad this time, realizing he was second. If you look at him coming down the stretch, he was basically gauging himself against the person who was in third, knowing that
fair point.
second place qualified him for the final. So
Fair point. But remember that Jahil was also running blind, for about 80% of that race. So he would have been exerting a lot of energy coming in lane 8. I don't know what lane he is drawn in for the finals.
Definitely
but
get a better lane.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Lane 7, lane 8, I think, again.
Yeah, and so between Dos Santos, Rai Benjamin, Warholm, and there's another athlete that looks really Maggie that looks really good. I don't see Jail featuring in the medals. No, not at all.
He'd have to run a PB.
Jai look dead in basically him look dead from the semis to me. Him look dead in that semis. Him trailer could barely go over the last hurdle to me. That's basically what I saw. I think he only can go out there now and give his best, but I don't see a PB for him. It would be very difficult. Although a rest is coming, but him legs look dead.
When is the final? Tomorrow is the final, right?
Yeah.
So I'm get a day off, which will do him a world of good. So
but everybody else getting a day off as well. So
true.
Any good that it do him,
what's that thing about him? What's that thing about him running a PB? We're thinking about him running a PB. So I say if he can run a PB, let's say he can break 48 for the first time in his life. If he can put together the best race time life and break 48, it's still when you consider that now, if he does that, he could run a PB and still finish fifth in the race,
Yeah, that would be a great achievement.
That is how far the competition you're talking about. You're talking about the Santos, who obviously in a 46 shape. You're talking about Carson Warholm, who's coming back with a man around 45. We don't know, but let's say at his worst, him can run low 47s, 46 high. And we're talking about Rai Benjamin, who me have as my favorite, who me think I run 46 low and win. Then so you're talking about Maggie, who was broken 47 and 48 on various occasions. So I say it might be a little touchy. It's a tall mountain for Jahil climb. If he can pull off something and hope for some misfortune elsewhere, then anything is possible. But for me, I am just happy that he is in his first major championship finals. Kelly Ludford is asking, she was asking about Megan a while ago. She said Dos Santos and Rai Benjamin will battle it out along with Warholm. I agree with you, Kelly. Gentlemen, make a look at on the back of last night's results in the 100 meters and the 200 meters heat start tonight. Let us look at the prospects. Jamaica's prospects for the 200 meter? Because last night's results, I think, is a little instructive in terms of what we can expect for the 200 meters. Preacher, give me your views as to how you see. And I would think it's all right. Shelley runs the 200.
Well, she did indicate that she's going to run. She said it last night in her interview that she'll be running the 200.
What are the expectations?
Well, we know that Shericka Jackson is going into the 200 as the favorite, on the heels of her 21:54 at the national trials. So looking at her P being in the 100 would only be more of an inspiration and encouragement for her in terms of what she can do in the 2. I have her winning. She will be pushed by Abby Steiner, I think the USA athlete who has been resting while others have been competing. Dina Asher Smith looks like she's rediscovering her form from her World Championship winning year. She looks really good. As I said earlier, she ran she tied the British record and still wasn't able to get a medal. So she will be looking to do something in the 200 meter. Not so confident about Shelley over the 2. We know that Shelley has the top end speed, the ability to hold her top end speed for a good while, but she doesn't have the strength, in my opinion, that carries over into her beat dominant in the 200 meter. And Elaine is not looking her best. So definitely concerns are there where Elaine, she might be motivated by the fact that, she finished 3rd in the 100. But the field is a little bit more competitive for me in the 200 than in the 100. I'm not sure if any of the Ivory Coast women will be participating in the 200.
Talou.
Yeah. Talou may not feature in a medal, but she definitely will be there to push people.
Kambunji will be there too, and I think the 200 is a better event.
Yeah, and Kambunji, who has been doing very well, also ran sub-11 in that final and was outside of the medal. So it's going to be competitive. I can see Jamaica possibly getting 2 medals in the 200 meters, definitely getting a medal, but possibly 2, not 1, 2, 3. I'm going to have to jump off, guys. If I can join back, I will, yeah?
Yeah, man. All right, Preacher. All right. You're going to go with Chris? Because Chris look like he must sort out something on mute over there. You're mute.
Yeah, where about? Yeah.
We're looking at 200.
So
yeah, man.
Ilian. You want to go
ahead, man. No, man. Go ahead, man.
All right. So let me just easy. Given what I've seen from Ilian, I am thinking like Jamaica going to get only 1 medal, and that's Shericka. Shelley has not looked good over the 200 for me for most of her races this season. And unless like Shelley go and talk to Elaine and Shericka, go and say, hey, what's wrong with you, man? We're here for you. We also have the relay, blah, blah, blah. We still love you. We are brethren. You understand? We are sistering. You understand me? Come on, get it together, because we know you're better than this. If she don't get the motivational thought there, I don't think she go medal. So right now, how I see it, I just see 1 medal. 1 medal for Shericka. I have doubts about Elaine, and you know that Elaine, you know me really want Elaine to do something, but given what I've seen from the 100, I don't think she's at the right place mentally to win. And yes, so I'm thinking just 1 medal Jamaica gonna get.
Yeah, Mannings, this reminds me of Usain Bolt in that last World Championship. Elaine is not in her best shape. We all know that. Sorry, but just for the viewers, Mannings a counselor, so you could hear it in him. You could hear it in him just now. That's not going to happen, Mannings, but you could tell that
they're not going to talk to her as sister.
That's not going to happen, it seems. But in terms of 2 medalists there for us, 2 medalists there for us. I've seen Ilian, she run 22:05 at the national championship. I am hoping that she's in even much better form because
21:89, 21:90. that I think 21.90 wins the bronze medal. 21.89.
Yeah, she needs to just touch 22, and I think she can because I think like the bronze medal, and obviously Preacher said it. She want to save some face again, and she coming out to get a medal, and I am not counting her out, just like I didn't count her out Pioneer in the 100. I am not counting her out in this one, and Pioneer, you should not be worried because you should know that there's a who is favored for the silver medal is the American Abby Steiner, and you know what the long collegiate system
Yeah,
do
man,
to
the long
the
collegiate season is gonna have an impact. But the fact that you see the fact that she's resting, she's resting, Chris, is a thing, and she's home, so that is added motivation. So for me, all right, let me tell you the fact that so
We have Coach Minzy just joined Pioneer.
All right, big up Coach Minzy. Let me say this quickly. If we look at not getting a medal, we have to look at who we are going to lose the medal. So who are the persons that are threats in this? Cam Bunji, Dina Asha Smith for me. And I think Talu in a great shape in terms of going 200. So the person we are look at is Abby Steiner, Cam Bunji, Dina Asha Smith. Abby Steiner show what she can do. 21.77. And she has had the long collegiate season, but she has been resting since the US national trials. Will she have dead legs like some of the other collegiate athletes that we have seen? We don't know yet. All right, 200 for run 3 rounds at 200 meter is gonna be a little tough. Them, as Ilian said last night, they're gonna get a little rest in between. A day rest between the semi-final and the final. That might benefit somebody like Abby Stein. Kambonji, I think her ceiling probably is about 21.95, 21.94. Dina is back, it's on her way back, but how far back is she? Can we see her running the 21.8 that she used to win in the last World Championship? I don't think that she's all the way that back. So if Ilian or Shelley can run between 21.85, 21.89, I think either of them could secure the bronze medal. And if Abby Stein and come up good, then we could probably have a gold and a silver and possibly a sweep. Never know. That's how I feel. Coach. But it's gonna be incumbent on what our ladies do in terms of what kind of performance them put on vis-a-vis the competition. Coach Minzy.
The man, you wake up, man.
Oh, go on.
Man is so tired. We're good, man.
Coach, before you start, Coach. Let me publicly apologize for not coming on the coach's desk last night. Coach, I don't know what it is between your link and the link from Mannings send. When I get a link from Mannings, I just go on directly. No password required. Or your link, I send me to Facebook or YouTube, when I use a password. But when use
unit, you know, see the symbol, brother. We only have an
security check client, you know.
You have to give me a clearance, coach, man. You can't embark upon the thing and give me proper security. You understand? So I apologize. And I was on the thing watching, Virgin, and big kudos to you and your host. And big up all of the persons who are in the stream and comment. I really enjoy it.
Big up yourself, man. Big up Pioneer. Big up Chris Lynch. Everything good, Daddy Lynch.
Yeah, man. Everything is going good.
Man. Right now, I'm still celebrating. Celebrate, you know. As me telling you yesterday, we take with the broom. We will lend them a broom, and we'll go back for the broom because you know our carpet have a sweep. So
definitely
we deal with it. Congrats to Jai Light for making the finals. Last outing he actually fell when I thought that he would have gone on to PB and all of these things, and he fell. So looking forward. I hear he made mention of the 200 meter. Dina Asha Smith was left in tears last evening because of the 1, 2, 3, and I believe that as the champion, she's gonna come back running very hard because she wants to be back on that podium. So that is going to be a tough one. Elaine Thompson here also made mention of wanting to be on that podium as well. So I hear you're saying, Mannings, that she don't look good based off the 100. That could be a variable that contribute, but you see, when you get the medal and the mindset, that might spur you a little bit to step on the acceleration or the accelerator. So
it's gonna be what you see. The 200 is like the 100. You did not know which three was going to win of the Jamaican ladies. So in the 200, you know Sherika get one of the medal, but the other two, the other two is gonna be very, very, very competitive. So it's between Abby, Dina, Ilian, and of course Shelly. You know that momentum coming from the 100 is going to be critical too. So we have to take that into consideration. I hear Preacher said that Abby Steiner was resting. Of course, she was not totally down to resting. She was doing active rest. Okay, you know, she have to go out the warm-up track, go shake out and all of these things. So she's not totally down to zero, you know what I mean? But at least she's getting more rest than the others because they'd have to go to shake out plus compete, you know what I mean? But let us see, because Trey Cunningham he's the only collegiate athlete that has gotten a medal, and I think
consistent, yeah.
And I think it was by default, you know what I mean? So 200, I'm looking forward to it, honestly.
Let me ask you, are you readjusting your medal count? Like, does it look like around 7 medals max for Jamaica, or you see more than that?
Well, the spills and thrills that I spoke about happen in the
hurdles.
In the hurdles. I had one in that, and that is the only one I lost. So I would be down to 9 based on my prediction. That's why when I was making my prediction, you know, I wasn't going all out to say this is it or that is it, because I know championship has spills and thrills. So hence the reason I was kind of reserved. And people are saying that I'm afraid. It's not afraid. It's the reality of championship. So we normally do well. We normally have a surprise medal. And when you look at the 3 ladies in the triple jump, which is unprecedented, I don't think a country has ever done that. So kudos to Jamaica again. And we have 2 ladies in the high jump. Gonna be tough. However, they are in the final, so they have a chance.
So you're down to 9 medals, Coach Minzy?
Yeah, I'm down to 9 currently. I missed 1 because Parchment was injured.
You're down to 9. I think I revised. My revision. I've revised the medal we lost in the mixed relays. And I was iffy about the 100 meters. Had one, didn't have one. And then Hansel's medal, which I had penciled in as a sure medal, even though it's an obstacle event. So that was 3 medals lost. I had it at 11 or 12. Now I'm down to 9 as well. It would be good if we could have hit that double-digit mark and get 10, but you know, as Coach said, the thrills and spills are obvious. We still have 3 goals. Women's 100, women's 200, women's 4x1. So let's hope that we don't have any other unforeseen misfortune, and the athletes can pull through and come through.
Yeah, man. What about you, Chris Lynch?
Yeah, I had 13, so I'm down to 11. 100 meter for men, and then Ansi Parchment. That's where I fall short.
13.
So. Yeah, so I still have 11.
Where is the other?
I have 2 coming from the 200, so that would be 5, right?
Yeah.
For women. I have 1 coming from the 100-meter hurdles. That would be 6, right? 4x4, the 2 4x4. I am hoping that the men can deliver a medal.
That's 8.
And then the 2 4x1.
That's 10.
And then I am looking for a medal in the 400 meter for women.
Okay. No, or long Ricketts don't have no. For
not
some
in the
reason,
field, Chris.
I think Ricketts just missed out by, I think.
Yeah, I am leaving that one tying with I'm doing like Coach Minzy, you know. So I understand that Shanika can get a medal. So I'm leaving that one tying with the men 4x4.
That means substitute that
11, it works.
Substitute that with the men's 4x4 because it's iffy, Virgin. When we look at the teams that are out there, we see too much competition out there. And some of these European teams like Netherlands and Poland and them team there, I think Dominica is showing that them have quality. I think the British team has pulled out. I don't think they have their feeling a 4x4 team. But from what I've seen from our men, it not inspire confidence from me. 4x4 women, I think we'll get a medal. Even though I think we when we look at the farmer, Cherokee Young and Stacey and Williams, it has gotten me to be less confident when we look at some of the other teams that we are going to be facing. But substitute, I made a field medal.
They normally use what's her name in the hurdles, Russell for part of the 4x4. So we may get some.
On the schedule, they might use her for the first round, but they're gonna stick to the flat 400 people for the finals.
Coach Minzy, what are your thoughts on Chris Taylor's farm, Chubby's farm, in the 400? You know,
I'm not Chubby, I'm Kobe.
Kobe. Sorry, boss. Chubby had the juice though.
Big up to the people in the comment section. Unforeseen sports. Big up yourself. Rich Pooh with a bag of question them. Big up yourself. Seeing me out of England.
But now I see them question in the mornings. Give me a few of them questions.
Sorry.
He's struggling.
He's struggling.
Yeah, he's struggling. He's struggling. That's all I can say. Will he make it to the final? I don't know.
I want to make a few comments on some general things, on some general discussion. The coverage. People are talking about the coverage of the championships, and obviously coming into the championship, we heard people like Michael Johnson and Lord Sebastian Coe saying that they want some more visibility for track and field in the US space. I found it interesting, and I said it to Chris yesterday on the podcast that immediately after the US 1-2-3, I switched my TV to ESPN Sports Center just to see, based on the back of those comments, to see if Sports Center would have given any coverage to the US 1-2-3 in the men's 100 meter. It didn't happen. I didn't see it. But interestingly, I did the same thing last night after the women's 1-2-3, the Jamaican women's 1-2-3, and at the end of Sports Center, they gave it maybe a minute and a half coverage and showed the Jamaican sweep. I mentioned Shelly and Fraser's historic fifth title. Interesting for me. Persons are mentioning the coverage in terms. I heard somebody talking about Gail Devers mentioning her wanting a sweep in the men's 4x1. No, not the 4x1, the men's 110 hurdles. And she was asked by Rob Walker for her possible medal placings between the semifinals and the finals. And she spoke of wanting the 1-2-3 for the US without even a hint of mentioning the presence of Hansel Parchment, who by that time was looking like the clear and apparent favorite. He had just beaten Devon Allen easily in the semifinals, running 13:02, slowing down after him coming off of the last hurdle, and obviously had a beating of Devon Allen. What's name? Grant Walker, Grant Holloway, who was the eventual winner, had run 13.04 flat out in the semifinals. So when you looked at that, to any trained eye or even untrained eye would have seen Hansler's favorite or at least a possible medal. So for Gail Devers to have spoken about the 1-2-3 for the US without even saying, because she said she stated her bias, but without even mentioning the presence of Hansel Parchment and mentioning him possibly spoiling the party. I found it a little distasteful by my part.
Same like us here now, Pioneer. We recognize Abby Steiner as someone who could win a medal without even seeing her run the heat, you know. And she was in such good form that I don't understand how she went about just saying just the sweep and nothing about Ansel. She should have even said, I'm worried that Ansel might break up this sweep or something.
They can't help it. They can't help it.
No, but Coach, you consider that you're on an international panel. You're on the main broadcasting network that is carrying the championship.
Pioneer, they don't think like us.
But not only that, they are doing it for an American channel.
Exactly.
No, man, it's not an American channel. They're doing it. She's a part of the coverage. She's a part of the whoever has the rights for the championship.
It's an American channel, and it is broadcast to the world. Is it NBC Sports?
Yeah, man, it's not.
No. It is. I don't know.
NBC Sports.
No,
yes, Pioneer.
She work with World Athletics. Not that.
No, coach. NBC Sports has Atto and what's your name? Sonia Richards.
Pioneer. NBC as a sister channels, you know. A slow.
No, but all right. Yeah. NBC feed that I have heard has Atto Bolden and Sonia Richards. They are giving. We expect them with the American
channel. That is the main channel. But I'm telling you that there are more.
No, but I'm saying the one that Rob Walker is a part of. Is the one that feeds out to the world. It is the one that get coverage in the Caribbean, that goes out to the English-speaking European countries. All right, because if even when I go on YouTube, sometimes there are some YouTubers who me follow who cover track and field. All right, some of them are bilingual, some of them give Portuguese, some of them give Spanish, Italian. But there are some that I get an English feed from. When I go back to view the races on YouTube, I go to some of those YouTubers, and the feed that they are carrying is the one that Rob Walker is on. So that is the one that they are getting in their countries.
Okay.
So I say no, that is the one that Gail Divas is on. I don't know if it's a part of the NDC network, but this is the channel that it's feeding out to the world.
It is Peacock. Yeah, Peacock is still NBC.
Yeah, man, it's a part of
it. Pioneer is saying, man, there is two you have a line of channels, like TVJ have TVJSN and all of that.
Yeah. But I said, this is the one that is going out to the world, man. Yeah. I'm saying it is going out to the world. Because the fact that we are here, all right, Mannings, the fact that we are here in Jamaica, and we have Hansley in the race, and we are listening to her with an expectation that she are going to make mention of Hansel as one of the persons to medal. The fact that she not
Pioneer.
Hold on, coach.
No,
choosing the 1, 2, 3.
I understand the point we are making, Pioneer. I understand the point we are making. But I'm telling you, these people are so biased till them talk rubbish.
I have a problem with it.
Slow Track said Usain Bolt's record has 24 hours. Usain Bolt just put up a picture on him thing, and with him, he race him in road and put him finger over him mouth and him deal with Justin Gatlin. The man put up that on him Instagram.
You mean the 958?
I don't remember if I did 958. When they beat Justin, man. Justin something, man.
That's a 979 Pioneer.
Yeah. So
no. So when did they say that? They said that the year when Justin got the 2015.
No, man. They said it when Curly ran the 979.
Yeah.
So they expected Curly to run 958?
No, 955. Break the record.
Hold on.
Record only had 24 hours left, Pioneer, when he ran the East. That's what coach is saying.
So these people, Pioneer, they don't reason the track and field. So the non-track and field fans who are not avid like us will understand where the sport is coming from. They just
you see my problem with that, coach. Coach, my problem with that is that I have the choice of not watching or listening flow track. I'm listening to them, I know where they're coming from. I mean, I am aware of their apparent US bias. But yeah, that is Flow Track, who is a podcast who
No man, slow track. Don't give them the credit. Slow track.
Slow track, all right. So this is slow track. Sometimes I'm kind of reasons to for you. But no, what I say no, I have no choice. No, this is the feed that is coming into my country.
But Pioneer, you
have
an
exclusive feed.
You have the coach's desk.
Just mute it and listen to me. Just mute it and listen to me.
Yeah. You want to listen to me. I don't see if you do it.
Sure. That's what started.
What the problem you have with the football? When I listen to the Americans, them are the commentary and all the reggae girls, it looked like Bonnie Shaw, some primary school footballer. So that is how they do things.
I think I need to balance it. Another observation that the Americans have been doing well at home. They have had a couple of 1-2 finishes and they have had a couple of sweeps. They swept the shot put last night. They had a 1-2 finish in the women's pole vault. and they also had a 1-2 finish in the men's 110 hurdle. They are doing well at home. The home advantage is working for them. So I have to big them up. Yeah, like everybody else, I want track and field to do well in the US. Track and field is probably my favorite sport, seeing rivaling basketball. So and America, when track and field does well in America, it spreads. Most sport that does well in America kind of spreads globally, because when you get their TV people and their broadcasters interested in a sport, they tend to feed. They do a good job of marketing and promoting things. So
But Pioneer, a lot of people are saying though, I hear a lot of people saying that the visibility has been affected because they had it in Oregon. Although Oregon is a lot of track and field happened there, and I think it's more about the track more so than attendance and all of those things, because there are bigger stadiums and bigger cities.
No, I'm liking the attendance, man.
Morning.
Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So cricket is coming to Jamaica, man. Mobile is the tourist capital. But you don't carry it go Chilani, you carry it go Sabana Park, because Sabana Park is Jamaica cricket in Jamaica.
No, man, but example, cricket should not come to Jamaica right now, so you can't use that example.
As I said to you, the fact that Oregon and Harewood Field is basically the home of track, the Mecca of track and field in the US right now. In past, it might have been different. You know, but Chris Place is known as the track
Arkansas.
But it's just more.
Yeah, man. So I have no problem with it. I'm liking the coverage. I'm liking the crowds I'm seeing in the last 2 days of the thing. I think it augurs well. What is lacking for me is the coverage by the major networks. I would like to turn on my TV in the morning time and see some of the major talk shows them. I mentioned something about the World Championship. There's a couple of youth. They're on Speak for Yourself. Emmanuel Acho, or the other bridge name. They are track people. They run track and field in college. So they mentioned, they give some coverage, but more want to see the Fox people are talk about it too. More want to see the other ESPN people are talk about it, and that is what will take track and field now back into the homes, the homes of the American public. See, now we get people going to YouTube to go visit things, going to Google for Google information, and that for me I will contribute towards the overall interest being heightened and a new sense of viewers coming to the sport. And I think a little bit more forceful marketing. Because if I were World Athletics, I'm going to try to buy some space for ESPN to get some coverage for this thing. I try to open the marketplace to get ESPN involved in it. I don't know. Because ESPN is probably one of the more viewed sporting channels in America.
Let me take the discussion somewhere else, and I'll start with Coach Minzy and then Chris Lynch and you, Pioneer. I think we have fallen back in terms of our field events, especially here. We see though we have Chad, Smichael and Frederick Dakers, we don't have our regular shot putter. What his name? Always, oh geez.
Yeah, Richards.
Yeah, the guy. Always in the finals. We don't see.
What Richard is his name? You know what matter, Chris?
Coach,
you want a medal? You want a bronze medal?
Name, man?
Richard's surname. Coach. Help me on a coach.
Richard Put guy. Odion Richards.
Odion Richards. Yeah.
All right. So it just seemed like we have for this championship. It just seemed like 100 to 400 meters. Predominantly, like, is it that the world is so far ahead of us? Are we not dedicating enough time? So I think about like Wayne Pinnock, like even his jump seems so far away from the jumps that are at the place where they can, compete. When you look at our 800 meters, you have the young Anderson. You have these guys are so far away from some of the top marks, right? At least we have 2 females in the high jump, but we don't think it's almost like unless Distant does her personal best, she don't even stand a chance. Is it that we need to do more work or more focus or get some of these athletes who we know come out of the 400, go try the 800. Use that 400 meter speed to do 800. Or is it that don't even bother go there because you're not going to get any medals anyway? Use your sprint speed. If you're a female sprinter right now, use that sprint speed to try the triple jump. Like the young girl at Edwin Allen Cole. Because listen, you have Brianna, you have Kemba, you have the Tiana. You right now, you're not going to probably get no medal. Like should we try to get some of the athletes to shift focus and have specialized training for them instead of having everybody crowd in the 100 and 200, especially with Sharika, Brianna, Kemba, that whole group.
Let me respond to what it's about. Let me respond to what it's about the field events first, man. All right, I think we are at a good place in the field events. As Coach Minzy just referenced us having 3 women in the triple jump final. We had 2 participants in the shot put. We have 3 men in the discus. We have 2 women in the high jump. So we're spreading our wings. Compared to 5 years ago, 10 years, 10, 12, 15 years ago, we are now involved. We are now a bona fide track and field nation. What is required now, Mannings? And I think it is happening. All right, it might not be happening. I was commenting yesterday to you. I think I was commenting to you, Chris, that we need to see. We have Diakaz, Smichael, and we have 3 men and Diakaz. Chadraite, yeah, in the discourse. What we need to see now is the high schoolers transitioning into the major clubs, because we have truant clubs in Jamaica now, and into the college system. And then they are now expected to come through, to come fill the void and the gap we're going to be left by these men when they go out. So these men are trailblazers. Seeing we have what's her name in the shot put who won a silver medal, finished 9th this year. We are hoping now that her presence in these events should be inspiring the young girls in high school who will transition into the colleges, who are come fill the voids. So when people believe, I think right now we are at a good place. What is needed right now is the second wave and the second crop of athletes now to come truly excel and to come and build upon the foundation that would have been laid by these pioneers, pun intended, who have kind of set the pace and pave the way now for these people come through now, come walk on these smoother roads that have been paved. So we are at a good place, man. We are competing we are getting people we get Wayne Pinnock in the final. We have the world champion who, because of injury, went out. One time we have James Beckford alone, Bridging, and nobody else in the long jump. No, we have a Gale, Tajay Gale, who is the world champion, got injured, and we still have a Wayne Pinnock who is in the finals, representing for Jamaica. So we just need to, we are at a good place to me. What we need now is building on the foundation. That's some of you, us in the field events. As to the other events, the 800, we have Natalia Gould. We have the odd person. And something that I'm
Pioneer do. But yeah. Go ahead. Let me let you finish.
That young lady who came from England and who is representing us in the 1500 meter made the semi-finals. So now we don't only have Jamaicans who are coming through the system, but now we have persons because of the legacy and the great visibility of the Jamaican team, persons who are in the diaspora, who have Jamaican heritage, now wanting to become a part. We see Angie Hudson wanted to come and sprint for us. We see, I don't remember the name of the young lady in the 1500 meter, coming to represent Jamaica, making the semi-finals at the 1500 meter. That is for me, that is progress, and that is a step forward.
All right, let me hear Coach Minzy and then Chris Lynch first. Because some of those things I don't agree with Pioneer, but
hold on there, me dep on a call. You're sorry about that.
Yeah, man. All right, Chris Lynch, what you have to say about all of that? You agree, disagree? What are your thoughts? You're muted, Chris Lynch.
You're muted, Chris.
It comes back down to interest, man. Obviously, you can look like a Barbie in today's society. In my generation, you can look like a Barbie running the 100 meter. You can put on some hair, you can put on some lashes, you can look like a Barbie. Most of the females cannot look like a Barbie throwing or jumping. They notice most of those athletes don't look like a Barbie. and that's where it comes from. The interest is low in field events, but it's enough. It's enough, like what Pioneer said. I don't think you cannot pressure us based on population. America have so much people in the world, not only in America, and they can afford to just be participating in everything, or find the odd 2 or 3 people who are good enough. But Jamaica just probably will find one, and it's not very consistent. It's not going to be consistent all the time.
No, here's what I'm saying. I am saying though, I hear your point, and I hear Pioneer. All right. When you tell me about Natalia Gould, I don't look at Natalia Gould at any time thinking she is a medal prospect. It's almost
no man. That's not true. That's not true, man. Come on.
I am telling you.
Last Olympics and in 2019, she was right there with everybody else. At one point, she was the world leader, man. Come on.
No, listen, but I have watched Natalia. Follow me. I'm not saying that she's not a good athlete and she has represented Jamaica well. But when I've looked at her and I see the field, I don't see her as one of the sure medal picks. I always say maybe she can get a bronze or somewhere right there. I don't see her as a gold medalist. I'm saying that when I look at my sprinters, I see a gold medal. All I'm saying
we have always been a sprinting nation, no, man.
No,
so if you're expanding to this.
I'm agreeing with you. I am agreeing with you. All right? I'm not saying that. We have made vast improvement in the sprinting. Remember, there was a time when we used to produce Raymond Stewart and then like Donald Quarry, then Raymond Stewart, and every now and then a 1 and 2 will come through. Now we have droves of sprinters on the male side. It's not a Merlin Atty and a Juliet Cuthbert anymore. We have droves of them coming through. 6, 7, 8, 9. So we are doing things to improve it on the sprinting side. I am saying it, coming back from the Trisha K. Simmons and these, I don't think we have placed enough emphasis on some of these and these things. We don't promote it enough at our champs, at our thing. I don't think we put enough emphasis on those things. A lot of times we don't even know who win. We can tell who won male, class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4, 100, 200 meters. None of us know who is a class 3 shot putter or discus thrower. We don't know those things. And I'm saying that I think if we as a nation were to put more emphasis on those events from the early stages, it would help to give this kid the spotlight for them to want to do it. And I think some of the coaches too, like I'm going to challenge our coach Minzy to look at the athlete and say, listen, right now, a 100 sprinter we have, but we only have 1 jumper. If you work with me, I can get you to make the Olympics in the long jump or in the triple jump. But the 100 meter, you probably will, but you have to break through Brianna, you have to break through Tia, you have to break through Liston. You have all of these people, right? And you're going to wait on them for 4 cycles. But I can get you in 1 cycle in the triple jump. That is what I'm saying. Can we have that?
Man, I think we are getting better. We are not there yet. I agree with what you're saying. We're not there yet. But even it's how we have to big up people like Hubert Lawrence and Bruce James. When you listen to the coverage of our national championships, those gentlemen go to their way to mention these ladies, and they give you the historical context of some of these performances. But we're not to say we are there. I will tell you that we are not there yet. But we on our
Pioneer, man. Pioneer, too much excuse, man. It come like at the football.
Football, man. We can't either take incremental changes. And as Chris said to yourself, if you understand that in everything there is the marketing aspect. It is what the people gravitate towards. We don't have that market in Jamaica where people. So it's almost like you are saying, feed something to the public that they're not buying yet. But if you gradually bring it to market, then people will take on to it. We had Tajay Gill who won the long jump unexpectedly. We had
Reggie, I'll give you an example. You had this high jumper from Wolmer's. I think his sister did high jump as well. He was a Carifta child. I think he went to the work. You're muted, Chris.
Christoph Bryan.
Where is Christoph Bryan?
He was at the trials. He had bad injuries over the years. I think he won here in America, the NCAA, but he has bad injuries and he just came back. So I think he came third or second at the trials.
And don't make the qualifying time.
He didn't make that. Yeah, he didn't make
These
that.
are guys who go to World Championship and get medals, you know. And somewhere between the World Youth Championship and the senior, all of them, Tariq Bachelor was the next. Casey, long jumper, triple jumper, who did well at World Juniors. Then
Marlins, it work for me. We get it. For me, I'm a disagree with you in this regard. I think we are getting there, but I think we are getting there. As I said, when I look at the team, at the makeup of the team now, I'm liking the diversity in terms of the range of events that we are participating in right now. So as I said, I can work with the changes being incremental. As I said, I think now Jamaica is a true track and field nation. The only two events, when I look at my TV, the only two events I don't see Jamaica participating in is the amateur and the pole vault. We are getting there to discuss.
Pioneer, me can give you Pioneer. All right, go ahead.
We're getting there in the discus. We're getting there in the high jump. We're getting there in the long jump. We're getting there in the shot put. So we are having representatives on the major series. At one time we would have representatives and not getting into finals. Now we are getting into finals. Now it's a little disappointing, but also we have 3 men on the cusp in the discus, and none of them have gotten into the finals. But we are there or thereabouts. We just need, as we say, what is needed now is the second wave. As we said, the pace setters will do the work, but then you need somebody now to come and build up on that work and take it to the next level. Before we started dominating in the sprint with Asaf and Bolt, we had people like Raymond Stewart and, as you mentioned, we had other persons who were there doing the work. Before Shelly and Ilian and Cherika is now dominating the world, we had Merlin Atty and Judith Cuthbert and Grace Jackson, who was there about at the front of the class sometime, not at the front.
What I'm saying to you, Pioneer, is that I hear you know, and that's how I say, all right, I think we are wasting years because we are not paying enough attention to the other disciplines.
It takes time, it takes money, it takes time, it takes money, it takes resources.
All right.
Okay, all right. No, all right. No, wait, man, let me hear. What you basically are saying is that if this year we start saying, listen, we need to put some more emphasis on the discus throw, then by 24 at the Olympic, we're gonna have some world-beating discus throw. It don't work so easy, my virgin. I mean,
no, that's not what I'm saying, Pioneer.
But that is exactly what you're saying. The technical expertise.
Let me tell you what I am saying.
Yeah.
I am saying to you, right? From the time I have been watching track and field, I cannot consistently see Jamaicans being in certain events. This is not something that happened last year, right? I can say to you that from I've been watching track and field, we always have representatives in the male and female side of sprinting. And I think because all our events in Jamaica are, we highlight those, we put emphasis, and nothing is wrong with that. If from that time and starting now, we begin seeing that we have a way of producing sprinters, if now we can start looking at some of the other events more intentionally, like why couldn't we take some of our 400-meter runners and let them run 800 meters?
Takes time, man. It takes time. Now, 800, you see, tradition and culture and all of these things have a lot of bearing. I'm going to ask you a question conversely. Was there ever another time in Jamaica's track and field history that you have seen us participating in such a diverse range of field events? Yes or no?
Participating?
Yeah, man.
At the senior level? Yeah.
At the senior level, at a major championship. I'm saying, was there ever a time in the history of Jamaica track and field where you see us?
Remember, I'm coming from this point. No, man, that is true. What I'm saying, watch what I'm saying. Yeah. You see, so when we go to, and this is the point I'm making, the bigger point, when we go to the World Youth Carifta, we dominate not just on the track, but on the field.
Yeah, somehow, the competition.
Fine. Somehow, after those moments, What happened is that more emphasis is placed on our sprinters than on the other events. So people who, somebody just mentioned this guy named O'Brien Wasom. We don't even hear about some of these people. One of the top jumpers.
A lot of these persons go after college mornings, and then when they go after college, they either make it. Because when they go after college, remember when they go after these colleges in the US, now they are competing against the best person. So, for example, in a country that has another event that I mentioned, when I participate in another job. So I said, when they go after colleges now, and some of these youngsters from some of these countries who have a richer culture in the discuss and in the shot put, when they go off and meet up on the people from Estonia and Poland in the US colleges, now then you're below par. When we compete against the Caribbean, we beat the Caribbean because we are tops in terms of track and field. But when you go off to college now, you start competing with a youth who come from Estonia and Belarus, and then you are back closer to the field, man, and that is when we realize that, listen, we're not really tops in these events. And as we said, in those countries, the culture, these people have a culture, are doing well in these events, versus us now where we have a culture and doing well in the sprints. Now, as we said to you, sir, what I am seeing is incremental and gradual change and a gradual improvement in us, in our participation level.
Pioneer, those nations.
The fact that Daniel Thomas that could win a silver medal at the World Championships in 2019 speaks volume to us. The fact that
sorry about that, gentlemen.
Yeah. Coach,
I'm going to jump off now a little while. Yeah, Mannings. But the fact that Tajay Gale could win the gold medal unexpectedly in the long jump, jumping one of the best distances in the history of the sport, speaks volume to what we are doing currently. Is there a need to do some more? Obviously, there is a need to do some more. We have to build on the foundations that have been laid, man. But to act as if we're not making any progress,
I'm not saying that we are not making any progress. Let me say it again.
Yeah.
What the point, man?
All right, we're discussing on the field. Why can't we, or should we shift focus and start spending more time?
Gentlemen, I'll jump off here about 10 minutes and come on. Yeah? If you guys are sorry.
All right,
Shouldn't we be welcome unforeseen?
Yeah, man, unforeseen.
There.
So I am saying, Coach Minzy, that for so many years now, I've been hearing that we are making incremental steps in the field events. My suggestion is that it's time for us to now be more intentional. Start looking at some of our athletes and say to them, for example, right now we have Brianna, we have the Clayton twins, we have Kemba Nelson, we have Still Sharika, we have Brianna Williams. These are all young persons. You may not be able to break through that in the 100 meters. So let's move you over to the triple jump to see if we can use your speed, develop you into a better triple jumper so you can medal there, because it's going to be hard for you to break through that barrier to get into the 100. Shouldn't we be, that's just an example, shouldn't we be looking at our athletes and say, you can legitimately shift focus from this event to this event, one, and shouldn't we be looking at our field athletes and say, listen, at our champs, at primary champs, at boys champs, at the Cariftas, we are going to make it just as exciting for you who are in the pole vault. So when you win the pole vault, the people coming from champs remember you in the same way they remember the class 100 meter sprinter. You who just won the shot put, we're going to let the people know who you are, so that you will want to continue in the sport, so that we can consistently participate in these field events and win medals. That's what I am suggesting. Pioneer said that we're doing it.
Mannings, I hear you.
Yeah.
But Mannings,
I hear you, but when I look at it,
yeah,
if I am running 11-2, seeing Brianna running 10-9, I'm not too far off from her. Why would I want to shift focus to go and do triple jump, which is a technical event that I would have not been trained to do before in terms of muscle memory. So it is going to push me back or set me back to try and learn that technical event. Train my muscles from running a curve or a straight in a 1 and 2 to go and prepare for an event like that. So it's if it were like for a long jump, I could understand. However, it's very hard to be training your muscles over the years. And you have to respect the coaches too, because they know the talent and they see what the athletes can do. Many persons came in as sprinters at various institutions, and they were turned into hurdlers. They were turned into 800-meter runners. You understand? They were turned into 4 hurdlers. Some were turned into high jumpers. You understand? So yes, that is done, Mannings, but based on the talent that the reservoir that we have in Jamaica, I think even our body type, it is more impress on us to do the sprinting events. If we're looking at field events, we have to look at probably high jump, long jump, to an extent triple jump. But generally, I believe that the coaches have the eyes for the talent, and they definitely would have put. Now, over a period of time now, probably like the senior ranks, you're trying an athlete to do an event and you see where they're not improving. That's where you can make a judgment call and make a decision. For example, I'll give you 2 examples. Sherika Jackson, she was doing the 400 consistently, but she wasn't improving to be a world beater. She has 1 medal in that event, but in terms of improving on her times to go to the next level, that wasn't happening. So they make a decision to try her in the 1-2. The rest is history. Jail Hyde was doing the 110 hurdles and the 400. A brilliant coach, I'm not going to call his name, a brilliant coach suggested to his coach, being that he's a hurdler, being that he's a quarter miler, why won't you try him at the 4 hurdles? Because significantly, you have not been seeing the improvement in the quarter and the 110 hurdle. So that combination now, there it is. Jail went on to win global titles in the 4 hurdles. He's in a final right now. So sometimes, Mannings, the decisions are made, but when you look at the talent pool that we have, it is not as widely spread as United States and other countries that specialize in some field events. And most times our coaches, when they get involved in coaching, they tend to, because of the success that they got in sprinting, they tend to want to do the certification or the coaching badge in the sprinting.
In the sprint, okay.
Yes. So
all right, let me hear what Ansi have to say, because this is a very interesting point you made. Very interesting point. Go ahead, Ansi.
Yeah, man. So I share the same sentiment that you share. I think that we're making slug pace step towards going over into the field event part. I think though, most of these athletes, because we love sprints mostly, the 1, the 2, and sometimes the 4, mostly 4. We don't really want to go to the throwing. We don't want, and it's hard sometimes it's hard for the coaches to even convert them, because they're saying if they're running the 100 or the 2, they're not doing track and field. You understand? And I believe that some of these athletes, they can convert, because if you look at as what they said, they look at the pool in 100 meter. They can't make it with the Brian list and come up, between them or come up. They can't make it a long jump now. You understand? Convert to somewhere else, because they're not gonna make it like a waste of time. Now that me believe in it. See my place.
Yeah, but coach, what coach means is saying that if one person is running 10.9 and I'm running 11.2, I'm going to think that I can break into that thing. So that's also a valid point that Coach Minzy was making. But I think this guy called Antonio Watson, for example, like I always or Giovanni James, I think his name was. You know that there was this guy from St. Elizabeth Technical a few seasons ago at Champs. I think James was his surname. But he was doing 200, 400, 800, 1500. Over Champs, he did all of those events. Is it James? Is his last name? used to run a champs in his last year for Stets.
Yeah, yeah, man. James is his name.
I don't remember his first name, but
yeah, man. James
from Stets.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
James, right? Like that guy, I thought he
Which
could
school he
have.
come from?
The man said from Stets, and then he asked me which school. Around with the unforeseen, man. You know, just say from Stets, and you ask me which school about come from, but around with you.
No, I guess you know, never say. I guess not.
No, yes, but no. What I'm saying is that you said James from Stets. Which school him go again? Anyway, so Coach Minzy, I always felt like he could have done the 800, but they had him running 400 and 200. So I think he did him with 400 meter hurdles. So he kind of went through the system, and I felt like he could have specialized in the 800 because I don't think, looking at him, he would have been the greatest 400 meter runner. So, all right. Shouldn't there be make some incentive where a man can say, yo, the big event at Champs this year is the 800 meters. Not because of who is running, but because of the reward that it gives, so that people push more people into the 800 meters, and then possibly we'll get more quality, because it's going to be prime time where people come see it and whatever. Say you get 9 points. Well, this year you get 5 bonus points if you break this barrier in the 800. If you break this in the more non-traditional events, so we can get more athletes in it. Because look at what Neil says. Neil says, I agree with management. As a shot putter, I brought in 8 to 9 points by myself for Champs, but I was an afterthought to a 100-meter sprinter who barely made the final. Hence, I just turned it out or turned it off. So I don't think we do a good enough job in terms of highlighting the other events. Like I'll ask people, unseen, who won the class 100 meters at Champs?
But Mannings, individually at the individual schools, those things are highlighted. So I don't know in terms of
Coach Minzy, shot putters are highlighted where? Which individual? Which school that?
Listen to the Mannings, I tell you. Listen to the man.
But Neo just tell you that he was an afterthought.
That happens at Neo school.
Okay.
Management.
After Champs,
yes,
every single person at the institution that I am at, they are highlighted, whether I give a point or not, because you went out and you repped the school.
Okay.
Whether you are a thrower, a flinger, a runner, a skipper, or a flipper. So, I don't know where
what Coach means it.
Mm-hmm.
A next thing that I'm hearing, the persons from going into different field events is sponsorship. Because here Frederick Dakers talk about it. He said that there are a lot of coming up in the throwing events. You have the name Stoner. You have Kai Chang. And a lot of them who coming up who crying out for sponsorship. They're not getting any help. You understand? So if we find a way who can help these throwers now and get some sponsors that they need, get good training, get the proper meals, and continue training and all that stuff. We can continue. We can dominate the throwing because Frederick Jacobs is top talent.
Yeah, I don't see any of the big companies like what they take on to the sprinters, take on Frederick Dakers and take on the St. Diego athlete, Anderson is his name, 800 meters. He won the national trials, 800 meter guy. What's his name? Anderson Vasky. What about first name? Anderson. Forgot the first name. The St. Diego man, Coach Minzy, you must know him, man.
Repeat the question.
Travasky. Is his name Travasky Anderson? The 800 meter runner that will be representing us on the male side. Anderson. Travasky Anderson? Navasky Anderson. All right. So Navasky Anderson, like, honestly, except the people probably in his circle, until he came to the champs, a lot of people were not following up on him. It was at the champs that he was brought to light, per se, for most track and field fans. I am saying that for a nation like Jamaica that don't normally produce anybody that good, it should be a big thing. It should be a big thing, big thing. I don't think we do that with, but if you were a sprinter, if you were a 100-meter man, doing what he did in the NCAA on the 100-meter side, it would be a big deal. But we have not made a big deal about him. And I think some of those things say to the athletes, like, being a sprinter is the best thing. And if you're not going to be a sprinter, boy, it don't even make no sense. And that is what I think probably need to change so we can get more athletes out there in some of the other events. I don't know. That's Neil saying that not true. Woolmers had good throwers in any event. People want national recognition too, so it can attract youngsters. And yeah, there's no. I don't know, but it's a good one. So, coach, do you spend time as a coach, Coach Minzy, and then a coach Parchment? Do you spend time like focusing on the field events? Like, say, listen, you can really be a world beater at the field event to your athletes and kind of push them into sticking to it and not want to convert to sprinting. Coach Menzi. All right, go ahead, Unseen, until we hear.
Well, yeah, if the coaches do their coaching merits and specialize, I get a wider horizon on the different events of coaching, I think we can have world beaters, because coaching high jump and long jump and the field events, they're nice, as they're quite nice, just like the sprints. You understand me? Especially when in the primary, talk about the primary. You understand? When I'm doing the field events, the high jump and stuff and the long jump, it brings a lot of joy to me when time I see the athletes them run and jump and get the highest mark, farthest meter and stuff like that. So it's a nice feeling, nice feeling. But everybody run down the sprints and the relays and stuff like that. Nobody really want to coach the field event. So in Jamaica, you can call two big names in Jamaica as a big coach in field event. All right? You have Mr. Gill over by Diego.
But I've never seen like one of our shot putters or discus throwers, for example, get a big sponsorship where they're endorsed by any of the major entities. But I see all our sprinters get that. Shelly, Ilian, Sharika, Bolt, Asafa. Once you're a sprinter, there's certain endorsement you get from it, even in the local business space. The throwers don't. I don't see Sharika Ricketts getting any sort of public endorsement. I don't see her getting that. And look how she has consistently jump well.
Coach Minzy, Frederick Dakers getting a big Frederick Dakers getting a big sponsor.
Puma, I think.
Okay. No, and then Rob Smith says management is like forcing Jamaican to watch NFL over the World Cup because you want him. No, man. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not talking about people who watch it. I'm not saying that the people have to watch it. I'm saying that we have to find a way. Like, I want to know.
This one on the man is, man, big sponsorship going on showing athlete, man. Where you say, man? The man, what his name?
You just remember the other, tell me.
The big boss, man, the big black boss, man. The first throw where flings the
Jason Morgan.
Jason Morgan, man, big Puma. You have Odie and Richards.
You're really going to tell me about Jason Morgan, who had a lot of complaints?
The man get sponsor from Puma.
No. But what did Jason Morgan complain about how he was treated?
By who?
Eh?
True.
By who?
by
who?
I think the J
Mannings, that is a different Mannings, that is a different lines you go down, you know. This
yeah,
has
but
nothing to do
sprinters
with
don't get treated. He was making the point, you know. That
but Frederick not get a bad treatment. How do you not get a bad treatment? Come on, Mannings. Yeah, go down one slippery slope, man.
Man is
All
man.
right, yeah.
Man is man. Not a run down here of class.
Walk.
But my prediction. 1, 2, 3 at the 200 meter. All right, Coach Minzy.
Yeah, obviously there must be 1, 2, 3, first, second, and third. What do you mean by your prediction is 1, 2, 3? I don't understand.
Predicting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I am predicting 1, 2, 3 for every event we leave.
Yeah, predict 1, 2, 3. I predict 1, 2, 3 to 8.
Jamaica is going to get gold, silver, and bronze. Gold, silver, and bronze.
A 4 finger you hold up, you know. Hold on, let's have gold, silver, and bronze again. Go.
Gold, silver, and bronze.
Oh, okay. All right. Not a problem, boss. We hear Coach Minzy.
You see the argument where you make a good point, you know. But you see, you have to face the reality of even when you look at it, countries like Jamaica, countries in the Caribbean, it has to do with the speciality of the coaches on the island, you know.
Yeah.
Because you check Cuba churn out a lot of field athletes, jumpers. I think a Robles was the last probably sprinter in a long while, because that was a technical event too in terms of hurdling. You know what I mean? But when you look at it, Jamaica has a wealth of coaches that are sprinting incline. So I guess that is one of the reasons also that they choose to go that way. Plus, a talent where they are Mannings. When they go and look at sports there, when they go and look at district association sports, yes, you pick there run fast.
Yeah.
So the first inclination is to get them to put them in the sprint event. Yeah, you understand? But
I
think it's to get more coaches to like the event. So when the coaches like the event and they specialize in the event, they will now be able to identify the talent and work with the talent. Because it's more difficult and you have to have a lot of patience to get these athletes up to the par.
All right. Hey, Coach Minzy, thank you for coming on, man. Really appreciate it. I know you're busy and need a rest, but thanks as usual. And we're gonna run now. Big game later, big races later. I don't know.
Why? You know what I'm going to stick to, you know, but I think that will stick to your world champs, you know.
I think we're gonna stick to the football. You understand me?
Yeah, man. Somebody have to do it, eh?
Yeah, man. All right, so Blessing, we take this one from Wendell. We have a call, I don't know who it is, but Blessing, Coach Minzy.
Yeah, man, big up yourself.
Yeah, man. Hello, caller. Welcome to Hampshire.
Hey, Mannings, man. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Yeah, man. You're live on air.
Yeah. Okay, good. I wanted to catch you while Coach Minzy was on. This is Stuffy Rudy, and I wanted to chime in on the part about where you said we could take the youngsters as champs. But what happened, if you take a look at those youngsters as champs during the field event, they might be doing really well in Jamaica, but look at their time compared to someone in the United States.
Yeah, but all right. And that is true. And I'm saying that is why we need to find ways of encouraging them and give them like the proper training to get them up. Not to say, listen, you can't, because too many of them are dropping out when we could have really have more specific and intentional training to develop them. Because what I don't want is, okay, everybody in America and Estonia and Hungary is doing better than you, so you're not going to make it. And they come out of it. What I want to do is to take them and say, listen, we're going to find it, get the recognition to these events, spend more time developing the talent so that we can be way more competitive in the future than we presently are. But not to kind of let them feel like if you're going to really make it in Jamaica, in track and field, you have to be a sprinter. That's all I'm saying, Tuffy Rudy.
I agree, but listen to this point, Mannings. If you have an athlete running a 46 second in Jamaica, 3 of them, and then you have them, move them up to the 800, and they can only run at 2 minutes. What's the incentive? If you tell them to do that, you're going to lose them in the sports.
Yeah, but if they're running 46 in the 400, they're going to lose them as well.
No, you could take a 46 man and tell him you could bring him down to a 45, 44. It's harder to take a 2 minutes guy and bring him down to a 146.
So if you're running 46 in the 400 and you do that 46 seconds, and you're going to be way below 200, below 2 minutes. Because if you do one lap in 46 and you can do a next one in 52, you're still below it, or even in a minute. If you do the next one in a minute, it's 1 minute 46.
It doesn't really go like that, you know. The 400 and the 800 is 2 different animals. I mean, it's 2 different animals, but I get your point. I mean, it's something to look at, but we'll lose a lot of athletes if we try and do that.
We are losing a
we
lot
don't
of
have
athletes.
the catch.
We lost Neo to Law.
Oh, well.
And Neo was a Carifta medalist, a champs medalist, and came out of the sport because he didn't feel like with what he was doing, there was any recognition.
But, I mean, we're making progress in the field event, though. I could see it.
All right.
We're making big progress. All right, thanks, man.
Yeah, but all right. Good to hear from you, Tuffy Rudy. But it's
big up Tuffy Rudy. Big up Tuffy Rudy.
Coach,
big up, hey, Coach. I tried calling him 3 times the other night, but I didn't get through. That's about 3 weeks ago, but I just got back in the country, so I'll be on.
Yeah, man. Big up yourself, Tuffy Rudy. Enough respect.
You say, come on to talk to Coach Minzy, but I mean, ask the question then. I understand what
No, I wanted, because I know Coach Minzy can understand my point with to take them from that field to that, you know.
Oh, so you call
If it's football, I wouldn't. I wouldn't challenge you with football, though, Mannings. I would not challenge you.
So you call
I think I'm to challenge you with track and field. Yes.
Give the verdict.
To support Yes, he's a track guru, you know. He's the only man out on the program, any one of these programs that could track and the young man he have on last night there too, Fabian. Those 2 guys, I think. I'm an old school guy from the 80s, you know. I ran in the 80s, so I'm an old school guy.
For what?
Yeah, man.
For president?
No, I used to run the 400. I ran, if you go look up the 400 at NCAA 1982.
And look for Tuffy Rudy?
No, not Tuffy Rudy. But you'll see me there.
How am I going to see you? But I can't.
I'll tell you off the year.
All right.
I'll tell you off the year. All right. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Big up Tuffy Rudy. But Wendell Mary, I know everybody's name. I said Anderson is the surname, and I can't pronounce the first name. If it is Travisky, and somebody said Navaski. So how you mean that I didn't know the name? Remember, we finished the discussion, and this is like other things. And I said Anderson in the 800 meters, and I know it's and I was asking Coach Minzy what's the name of the St. Jago athlete. Even he had a difficulty. So we have our facts, man. Though I'm into football, I know me track and field, you know. You understand me?
You have to diversify money. You have to know about it, all of them in the car. You see?
Yes.
Well, I'm a sports enthusiast, and I try to dabble in all of the sports in terms of the knowledge. One thing I never to understand, I have a look understand
NFL.
NFL, yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
the guru them, you know. Man, is a little touch of guru-ness in the NFL people.
And the NBA, you see the NFL and the NBA, you understand me, and baseball and them thing there. I know some horse racing too, you know. You know, we can do our serious commentary, but you don't know,
Yeah.
me not try the betting business, to divulge too deep in the horse racing. But Coach Minzy, bless up, you want to say NFL and madness. Yeah, man. Enjoy the rest of the day. People, thank you so much for coming on thanks to Pioneer National, Chris Lynch, Preacher, Coach Minzy, Unseen, aka Unforeseen. You understand me? To every person in the comment section, thank you so much for coming on and join the show. I am management. This has been I Am Sure Sports. Listen, before you go, ensure that you hit the like button. If you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe to the platform. We will be doing a live watch along later to the Jamaica versus Costa Rica game. You can join us for that. We're going to give you some update before that as well on the starting 11, who is in and who is out, who got their paperwork and who have not gotten their paperwork. So join us for
But man, it's one person. No, Bailey.
Yeah.
Oh, you say who? The persons. So I wonder if there are more persons who didn't have their paperwork there.
Oh, no, we say who is in and who is out. Yeah. Yeah, man. But bless up to every single one of you. Respect. Again, Ishmael King, good to have you, man. And days after your father passed, condolences again to you and your family. You understand me? Rob Smith can teach you a little NFL. I'm not sure about that, Coach.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of NFL acumen Rob Smith have.
There you go. There you go.
Pick up myself, Rob Smith. I don't know.
Yeah, man. All right, people. As usual, we say we are over and we are OUT out.
Yo, watch about dog, SK New Earths, the body out there, Sniper King I represent for I Am Sure Sports. You get to me, I say, when you want the latest news and sports and updates and all of that, check out I Am Sure Sports. You know the thing goes in. Remember, cover the whole island. Remember Kingston, Westmoreland, Galchester, Ocho-Race, Galtigo Bay, everywhere. I Am Sure Sports, check it out for the latest news and latest updates. Sniper King I represent. Where them feel like, yeah, someone on for the food from young, from we day you need height. I Am Sure Sports. Yeah, dog.